Chow time, chow time. Wake your game up or fuck your name up. This is Chum La Crumb here, and I'm tuning in once again, man. Hoping everybody having a blessed day as well as a safe day. You feel me? Because ultimately, man, you have to know how to categorize things, right? As well as categorize your friends in all your relationships. So piggybacking off what I was saying in episode, you feel me? In episode 8, you know what I'm saying? So imagine, you got a good homie, or you know somebody in the compound, and he ain't snitch on his case. He ain't do nothing foul. But, no. Or that nigga get money, he solid, he alpha, but, or that nigga from over there, and he fuck with his homies, but, see, in the feds or in the system, yeah, but is suspect, and suspect will have you stabbed. And that's no capping. But on the streets, that concept or philosophy is not prevalent because it hasn't been introduced. See, because a lot of these cats are either like younger, or they're ill experienced. It's almost as equivalent to one episode. I had already been in jail for about, I think, 8 years, and I was programming out. I was in Beaumont, Texas, and so I'm doing pull-ups on this particular pull-up bar that I always work out on. And one day, this one islander uh pushed up on me and asked me who I was, where I was from. So I had been on this yard almost like 3 years, but he just felt necessary like to press me. So I give him the same energy. I'm like, nigga, I'm lefty. At the time I was pushing that baby lefty name pretty hard. I'm from Harlem Crib. Nigga, I'm who you want, you know, saying, who you looking for, whoever you looking for, what's happening? He said, no, it's green. I just want to know if you knew that I buried my knives over here, and if the yard ever got put down, I was going to run over to get my knives, and I didn't want you to be doing pull-ups and see me digging my knives up and think it's an issue. I'm like, whoa, paradigm shift. Yeah, change the perspectives, right? Nah, my point is this. Scenarios in your life that may be prevalent right now in your day, in your reality, may not be prevalent in your future life. In other words, say you're incarcerated and you're experiencing something or a set of emotions that you had never experienced before. How do you deal with that? How do you rationalize with that? How do an 18-year-old fresh out of the Academy of Education, graduate from Hollywood High School with a degree of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, go from that to the next extreme, which is the penitentiary system? So now, being said, he a good dude, but I had to realize, if I hear anything but behind a man's name, I'm gonna stay away from him. Now, that was my first learning experience incarcerated, because it was a specific cat that was rotating with the homies in MDC. And I'm not gonna put his name. He was a red rag though, you know what I'm saying? He was from Blackstones and all that. And my homie particularly fucked with him. And he would do little shit and get into with his homies and all that because he was fucking with the homie Keith. But, it's that but. His homies is mad at him. So the politic is this. Remember, the feds is very subtle. I'm hearing the politic under the politic. And I had to realize, look, the only way for me to get through this and save face is for me to appreciate every learning experience. Fuck just getting the experience, but appreciate it. So what I started doing was I started assessing myself. I started reading, like really reading shit, like really reading all the urban novels, any book that I can read. I started reading all the magazines. Fuck just flip through the pages, etc. And you know, what it did was it opened my mind up because it made me want more. And I started tapping into the streets because, when you in jail, you don't even want to know what's going on in the real world. It stresses you. Being said, one particular instance happened when I think I had been on the compound on MDC 6 South for about 2 weeks. And though we was outside playing basketball. Now, one rule of thumb is this: you're not supposed to play sports when you're incarcerated, because a lot of cats can't hold their temperament. And if a nigga call you a bitch, what you gonna do? Now, Big Lefty had already started grooming me, teaching me shit prior to this federal experience, because when I was in the halfway house, he would, come up there and talk to me and send me money and all that type shit. So we would talk. And he would kind of debrief me about what I just experienced and what I need to focus in on. So when we got caught up in this shit, it was like, boom. All the shit that he was teaching me kind of came back full-fledged or full front. Being said, I'm outside hooping with the homies and shit, and I'm doing what I do. I'm talking and all that. I'm popping my bacon grits and shit. So nigga like get at me like, hey, check this out, man. Who you talking to? So I stop. Now mind you, it's basketball talk. It ain't inmate talk. It ain't street talk. I'm like, I'm talking to. So now I'm like having a dilemma type experience where I don't know what to do. So I looked at one of the homies who happened to be from HA